Alright, so I've been avoiding making this video because I wanted things to work out so that I had like an inspiring story to tell. But unfortunately, I don't think that's not really the right way for me to do this, because this is real life, and as much as I might know the truth to be the truth, and as much as I might hope and wish and try to stay as positive as possible, it's not that I don't believe that I can beat not even just the state, but just like life in general, you know, like I understand that life is not a fucking, it's not like a fucking game of Street Fighter, or I don't know what another lame ass fucking button mashing fucking fighting game I used to play on, like, I don't know, any old console, but it's not that. This isn't that. Do I believe that life is a choose your own ending type of game, book? It's more like a book. And yes, I do believe that. I do. I believe that we do choose our own ending. Sometimes, you know, you have to fight through some extra things, and I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, so since the last time I was on here, let's see what has changed in my life. So I went to court for my Franks versus Delaware, and my attorney, he didn't docket the ring transcripts and the basically it was like 12 pages. He didn't file those publicly, docket them. And then also he didn't use them during the actual like court date. He was supposed to go in and, you know, make all these arguments about the officer's intent and his misstatements to the judge to get the warrant, and his inferences about me that ended up being just that, inferences, unfounded, as well as his omissions of what I said that would have helped me in that case, and his omissions of what he said that would have then taken that exigency of needing to kick my door down in the first place completely out of the equation. But my own attorney did make those arguments, brought up the out-of-state versus out-of-town issue, which is not the complete issue at all. So, anyway, Officer Leonard still didn't show up. So confused as to how we could possibly have a Franks hearing without the officer that had that documented the lie. I just don't understand that part, you know. So anyway, so I lose that, and then after that, I have trial set for August 4th, and so I'm just chugging along, trying to get my complete discovery. After April 15th or so, Mark Savart, my attorney, once again stopped responding to my emails. And so I'm just trying to make sure I have the full discovery for my case, right? I have an old friend named Bo. His name on, he probably wouldn't want me to blast him, but anyway, he has an amazing, wonderful wife, and her name is Lynn Burke. I'm gonna put her name out there because she's a publicly well-known attorney anyway. And so I reach out to him, and I ask him to set me up some type of a meeting with his amazing wife. Now, she does get me an appointment, and she says, look, I need to get paid. This is my job, and yes, I know what I'm doing, but I need to get paid. And that's totally 100% acceptable. In fact, I don't want someone to volunteer ever. Just period. Like, because I already know that any type of volunteer, anything coming from the types of people I know is not going to be worth fuck. They need to get paid. People need to get paid, and I totally get that. So she said, you know, she said, you look like a difficult client on paper. And I said, I swear I'm not. I swear. And she was like, well, that's what Bo said. Bo said that you're not a difficult client, and that if you're making this much noise, there's got to be something to it. But she really had not yet had time to look through everything. I was not really able to instill in her the amount of anger that I feel the state, and especially the county of Reno County, has against me at this point, because I have just really made their jobs very hard. So she didn't quite understand that. I mean, it's really hard to understand that. So, but she says, do you like your attorney? And I said, no. He and I don't see eye to eye for sure. We still haven't even prepared a fucking defense for my trial that at the time when I had this conversation with her was like 3 weeks away, right? So anyway, she was like, well, you know how to file a motion to substitute counsel, because I already did it once. So she was like, just file a motion to substitute me in as your public defender. And she said, I have no problem taking the case. And then she was like, and I'll go down to the courthouse and I'll let Judge Rose and her secretary, I think, I don't know, something like that, know that I'm willing to take the case. But she said, you know, go ahead and file that motion to substitute counsel. So I attempt to do that. And I get a lot of runaround about whether it's been docketed or not. And then I see that I have a surprise court date for continuance coming up. And if you haven't noticed, I got my teeth done, the top, but I had it scheduled on the 20th of this month to go get my bottom teeth pulled out so that I have new teeth, because my mother and my grandmother are amazing women who can tell that I'm really trying to do what's right, even though it's not always obvious. And anyway, they wanted me to have a little bit of myself back again, which I used to have really great teeth. So anyway, I had it scheduled to go get these teeth extracted, and then I look and I find out on like Saturday or Sunday. So on Sunday, my attorney emails me. I found out like on Saturday that I had court the day after I'm supposed to have my teeth pulled, because I guess the state wanted a continuance. Now, I thought it was because I put a motion in to substitute counsel. But I guess the state needed a continuance to, I don't know, do what the state fucking does, drag another fucking case out for 30 months, either way. And that I might be able to address the desire to substitute counsel. Now, when I get to court, okay, so no, hold on. So before I have court, I send a message to Lynn and I tell her, you know, I'm scared to go to court on my own. Are you going to be there? She says, you know, and I tell her, like, I go mute when I go to court. It's really unfortunate, but I lose the ability to advocate for myself, and I'm afraid. You know, at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, I'm afraid for my life, for my future, for my daughter's future, for the future of the people that I care about, my cat's future. Don't judge my fucking dirty ass room either, but so anyway, I send her an email, and she calls me and she tells me, this is on a Sunday, this is last Sunday, and she says, you know, I'm not going to be able to be there, but, it's not a big deal. I already indicated to Judge Rose and her people that I would be willing to accept the case. So you just go in there and you tell them why Mark Savart is no longer working as your attorney. And so I was like, okay. And so it kind of gave me a renewed confidence. I tell my attorney when I get there the name of, of Miss Burke, and he takes it down. He has no objection to letting her take over my case. And then, so after that, Judge Rose, so he announces this and says Miss Burke's name in court, and the whole court looks so confused, and I'm confused because why are you confused? At one point I had requested Sarah Sweet McKinnon, who initially was the first attorney on my case. Initially, she was the one given my case, but then she was removed. So the fact that I requested having her on my case was really not that crazy of a request, but they treated me like it was in court when I had made that request last year, back in December. Well, I made it in November, but we had court on it in December. So, anyway, the state's like, oh, we need a continuance for this reason, for that reason. And then the judge, they hand her my motion to substitute counsel. When I tell you, she doesn't even look at it. She's like shrugs it off. She doesn't even look at it. And to be completely honest, I don't feel like she's looked at not one of the documents that I've submitted when I was unrepresented, and when I've been represented. I don't think she has read not a word of those documents, and that can't be right. That can't be legal. I'm really surprised at Judge Rose. I really cannot believe that she is judging my situation because I'm not an attorney or whatever. Either way, if she's procedurally correct, then she's... Anyway, I'm not going to say anything because, to be honest, I could be seeing things incorrectly, and I am going to be getting transcripts of all of my court dates so that I can see for myself what happened at these court dates. I want to make sure that everything is on the up and up. Either way. So Judge Rose, she granted the state's continuance. And then she told me that, once again, Ms. Claycomb, you are not allowed to choose your own attorney. And I am indigent. I have no money. So technically she's correct. I don't have a legal right to choose my own attorney. And that Mark Savart is the attorney that she chose for me. And if I wanted to take the money that I don't have and retain my own attorney, and i.e. Lynn Burke, she would be, I mean, she can't change that, really. That's a right I have. So, but she denied my motion to substitute Lynn Burke as my attorney. So that little glimmer of hope that I felt when Lynn offered to take my case, even though I knew it was a possibility that Judge Rose would deny. Okay, look at it like this. Before I met with Lynn, I went over every possible outcome that could happen, and I realized that the possibility of her saying, you know what, I'll take your case, was slim to none. And then that happened, and she did offer to take my case. And then I carried that with me for a week, that hope. And it was just crushed at that court date, at my last court hearing. My hope at not walking into slaughter for my trial is gone. And it's not Lynn's fault. It's not Lynn's fault. I suppose it's my fault. I know that the likelihood of me getting not just one of my cases dismissed, but two, it's very unlikely. The likelihood of me successfully fighting pro se on my civil rights case and actually getting anywhere at all without an attorney is slim to none. I've always known that. I just thought at one point that the truth would win out. That the government would finally do what they're supposed to do and protect their citizens instead of hanging us all out to dry for all sorts of things that the punishment rarely fits the crime, and I'm aware of that. And I'm not perfect. I'm an imperfect victim. But I am a victim in all this. And not only am I a victim, but my family, they are victims. My daughter is a victim. My partner and my relationship are victims. My sense of peace and security and my ability to have a conversation about any normal topic. I was planning on putting a lot more in this video, but I'm just like about my personal life and shit, but like that doesn't even matter because and my car got towed today. I don't even care about that. I just want an attorney that's gonna fight for me. Part of me wonders if I should start like a GoFundMe, but I've never been successful at that, and I'm not good at asking for money. Anyway, I'm still fighting. I'm still gonna keep fighting until the day that they lock me up. And I have a lot of anxiety and I'm pretty overwhelmed with life right now, but I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. Because, you know, as small as the possibility is that I beat them in the end, as small as that possibility is, it's still a possibility. And for that, I'm grateful.